Thank you for tuning in to today's edition of 6 Stories at 6. As always, it is a power pack bulletin. We'll get you the top national stories as well as global stories making headlines. First up, let's begin by giving you a quick roundup of all that is going to be covered over the next half an hour. Our top story is coming in from the US with the deportation of 104 Indians by US military aircraft. It's External Affairs Minister who set the record straight on India's stand, but still there is a big question mark on the manner in which the Indians were deported from the US. Next up, our story is coming in from Bangladesh. It's all out Awami League versus the radicals backed by the Yunus regime. The house of Bangladeshi founder Mujibur Rahman, that is Sheikh Hasina's house, was vandalized. A house that once symbolized independence was ransacked and torched by the extremist elements in Bangladesh. Our next story is coming in from India back home. It's Asaduddin Owaisi who's waded into the TDT's diktat on no Hindu staffers in the board. Owaisi has urged the government to reconsider its stand while even questioning the rationale behind TDP backing the amendments suggested to the Waqf Act while taking that stand on the diktat of the TDT board. Our next story is the remarks coming in from Akhilesh Yadav, the Samajwadi Party Supremo, with just days left for the bypoll results to be out, that is on 8th of February. Akhilesh has targeted the Election Commission again. The question is whether the Samajwadi Party is preempting its loss in Uttar Pradesh in the bypolls, and we'll also get you the big story from the state of West Bengal. It's in broad daylight on the streets of Kolkata that a government employee went on a stabbing spree. And lastly, our focus will also be on the highlights from Prime Minister's thunderous speech in the Rajya Sabha. That and much more. Let's begin first up with a top story that is coming in on the deportation that's been carried out by the US to crack down on the illegal migrants. As part of crackdown on illegal immigrants in US-Mexico border, it's the US that has deported 104 illegal immigrants by military aircraft. On Wednesday, the US Border Patrol has even released a video that shows 104 illegal migrants coming from that military aircraft. However, there is a question mark that is being put on the manner in which these Indians were deported from the US. Take a look at this video that's been released by the US. And that's the video on your screens that's been released by the US. Now setting the record straight, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said that the process of deportation is not a new one and that it has been ongoing for several years. However, the External Affairs Minister did highlight that this is a matter which will be taken up by the US officials regarding the manner in which how the Indians from the US were chained and cuffed and brought back home in that military aircraft.
It is the obligation of all countries to take back their nationals if they are found to be living illegally abroad. This is naturally subject to an unambiguous verification of their nationality. So the process of deportation is not a new one. I repeat, not a new one, and has been ongoing for several years. This is not a policy applicable to any specific country, nor indeed one only practiced by India. It is a general accepted principle in international relations.
And joining us on the broadcast is Swaran Singh. He's father of a deported migrant. मिस्टर सिंह, धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए. पहले आप हमें बताइए कि आपके बेटे ने आपको क्या बताया है, वो कितने समय से यूएस में रह रहा था और कब उनका वीज़ा यूएस वीज़ा एक्सपायर हुआ था?
जनवरी 23 तारीख
जी जी
घरों गए तो 8 महीने हो गए. दुबई रहा 5-6 महीने. दुबई तो उतों एजेंट मिलिया तो उतों चले गया गा अमेरिका का फोन किया मैनू भी पैसे पापा चाहिए है तो मैं अमेरिका जाना हूँ. ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਕੁ ਪੈਸੇ 45 ਲੱਖ ਦਾ। ਮੈਂ ਇਹਨੇ ਤੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਪੁੱਤ ਬਣਨੇ ਨਹੀਂ। ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਪਾਪਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ, ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜਾਇਦਾਦ ਵੇਚ ਕੇ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ, ਬਾਅਦ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਮਾ ਲਾਂਗੇ ਉੱਤੇ। ਮੈਡਮ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਾਤੇ। ਕੋਈ ਪੈਲੀ ਵੇਚੀ, ਕੋਈ ਗਹਿਣੇ ਕੀਤੀ, ਕੋਈ ਲਿਮਟ ਬਣਾਈ, ਕੋਈ ਕਰ ਕਤਰ ਕੇ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਵੇਚ ਕੇ ਤੇ मैं बेटे ने पैसे पाते।
जी जी अगर आप हमें मिस्टर सिंह, अगर आप हमें एक बार और थोड़ा हिंदी में बता सकते हैं कि किस तरीके से उनको डिपोर्ट करा गया, क्या उनके लिए फैसिलिटीज़ रेडी रखी गई थी उस मिलिट्री एयरक्राफ्ट में, जिसमें कह रहे हैं कि इंडियंस को के पैर बांधे गए थे और हाथ भी बांधे गए थे पूरी जर्नी के दौरान।
मैडम बिल्कुल शर्मनाक अपनी सरकार वास्ते, बिल्कुल उन्होंने बन के झूठ के इत्थे सुट के गए ने। इस तरह अपनी सरकार ते बहुत शर्मनाक गल है मैम, जेड़ा बच्चा केड़ा इन्हां को क्लेम कीता हैगा।
जी जी
बात ऐसी है मैम, जब घर से हम बच्चे भेजते हैं, अपनी जमीन बेच के, जमीन गिरवी रख के, अपने ट्रैक्टर बिक्री कर दिया, ट्राली बिक्री कर दिया, कणक काटने वाला रीपर बिक्री कर दिया और बैंक से लोन लिया, बैंक से लोन लेकर 60 लाख के करीब अपने बच्चे आकाशदीप को देकर उधर भेजा। तो जब उधर चले गया उन्होंने पकड़ लिया, पकड़ तो लिया ठीक है, पर जो हाथ में जंजीर और पैर में हथकड़ा और दूसरी बेड़ी डाल के भारत में ले आना कितनी शर्मनाक बात है। जैसे मेरे हाथ इधर पकड़े हुए, देखो मैं हाथ पकड़े हुए हाथों से क्या काम कर सकता हूँ कोई क्या?
जी मिस्टर सिंह, हमें आप थोड़ा सा और अगर बता सकते हैं कि आपका बेटा कितने समय से यूएस में रह रहा था, और अगर वीज़ा एक्सपायर हो चुका था तो क्या प्रोसेस इनिशिएट करा था वीज़ा रिन्यू करवाने के लिए?
बात ऐसी है, पहले आज से 6 महीने पहले दुबई गया था। दुबई जाने के बाद और उधर किसी एजेंट से बात हुई, एजेंट ने भरोसा दे दिया कि मैं आपको मैक्सिको भेज देता हूँ, आपका बच्चा 80 सैलरी रहेगा, 80 पेमेंट लेगा, आपका घर बार अच्छा बन जाएगा। घर बार अच्छा बनाने के सपने में वो उधर गया और घर सपना तो चकनाचूर हो गया। जब पता लगा, कल ही पता लगा हमारे को, 23 जनवरी को उधर पहुंचा था। 23 जनवरी को जब पहुंचा उधर उन्होंने डिटेन कर लिया। डिटेन करने के बाद कल पता लगा जब विमान हमारे अमृतसर के एयरपोर्ट पर पहुंचा तो इनको पुलिस से फोन आया भी आपका बेटा जो हमारी हिरासत में है। उधर से आर्मी के विमान से लेके इनको इधर ले आया गया है। तो फिर ही पता चला, जब ही पता चला तो बहुत ज्यादा मुश्किल का सामना करना पड़ा परिवार को। और बात ऐसी है, जब हमारा बच्चा एयरपोर्ट पर जाता है, सेल्फियां लेता है, देखता है मैं बाहर जा रहा हूं, अपनी कमाई के लिए जा रहा हूं, कमाई का साधन बन रहा है। जब बच्चा बाहर से आता है, विदेश से परतता है, अपने इंडिया में जहां अपने स्टेट में परतता है, वो सेल्फियां लेता है, अपना माता पिता का धन्यवाद करता है, मेरे को आपने पैसे लगाकर भेजा था कमाई करने के लिए, पर वो कमाई का सारा ही चकनाचूर हो गया। ये तो कल हमारे बेटों को ऐसी हथकड़ियां लगा के, पैरों में बेड़ियां लगा के उनको इधर अमृतसर में तारा गया।
जी एक आखिरी सवाल मिस्टर सिंह आपसे, अगर आपकी लास्ट अपील रहेगी गवर्नमेंट से, आप कोई मैसेज पहुंचाना चाहेंगे यूएस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को और गवर्नमेंट को भी जो आपकी आवाज सुन पा रहे हैं?
मैं आपके चैनल के माध्यम के राही मैं किसान जथेबंदियों को बेनती करता हूं और एमपी सरदार गुरजीत सिंह औंजला को पार्लियामेंट मेंबर जो उनको बात करता हूं, जैसे आज संसद में ऐसी जंजीरें पकड़ के और हाथ में तख्तियां लेके खड़े हैं, इन आदमियों को जो छल्ली पूनी सारा बिक गया, घर का सामान सारा बिक गया है, जमीन भी चलेगी, घर का सामान भी, ट्रैक्टर ट्राली भी सारी बिक्री, भैंस भी बिक्री होगी। हम चाहते हैं जो उधर से लड़के हमारे आए, भारत के आए, जहाँ पंजाब के, जहाँ गुजरात के, कहीं के भी आए हैं, हम पंजाब सरकार से अपील करते हैं, भारत सरकार से अपील करते हैं, हमारे बच्चों को कोई ना कोई नौकरी, सरकारी नौकरी जरूर दे जो उन बच्चों का मनोबल न गिरे। जेकर मनोबल गिर गया तो हमारा बच्चा कुछ भी कर सकता है। इसलिए वो जो कैमरे के सामने बच्चा नहीं और रो रहे अंदर कि मैं अपने यारों दोस्तों को क्या बताऊं, गांव वालों को क्या बताऊं, जो लोग हमारी फोटो देखते थे भी बाहर गया है, उसको क्या बताऊं अभी।
जी जी मिस्टर सिंह, धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए। बट आपको हम एक बार और बता दें कि एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर ने बोला है कि वो यूएस गवर्नमेंट से टच में है और जो मिस ट्रीटमेंट हुआ है वो इस विषय पर ज़रूर बात करेंगे कि ये तरीका सही नहीं रहा है। धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए। And we now switch focus to the news that we've been tracking from Bangladesh, the iconic building in Dhaka, in which Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who has been the founding father of Bangladesh, lived, has now been demolished. While this act of extremism is not new, the Yunus administration remains silent on the free run that's being given to the radicals under his regime. Take a look at this report.
These are visuals from August 5 last year. A mob of vandals in the garb of student protesters tore down a statue of the man they owe the liberation to. Less than a year later, on Wednesday late night, the radicals went on a rampage again. As a child at home lay in a pile of charred wreck and rubble, deposed former Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina released a statement saying structures can be erased, not history. As radicals run riot in Yunus-run Bangladesh, is the world watching.
And we are being joined on the broadcast by Shafiul Rahman, who is a member of the Awami League, that is a party of Sheikh Hasina. मिस्टर शफीउल रहमान, हमने देखा है कि 24 घंटे में क्या हुआ है बांग्लादेश में, ढाका में. आप हमें एक बार बता सकते हैं कि कैसे ये हो रहा है और क्यों एक क्रैकडाउन देखा जा रहा है जो अवामी पार्टी के तरफ हम देख रहे हैं, और अभी जो लेटेस्ट हुआ है, जो फाउंडिंग मेंबर रहे हैं फॉर्मर प्राइम मिनिस्टर, उनका घर भी डिमोलिश कर दिया गया है.
ये very painful and shame for Bangladeshi people. The regime of Yunus government, they burned and now they demolished the father of nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, 32 number Dhanmondi. This house, this is how, not a only house, this is a Bangladesh liberation war history. We are very much angry that the minimum proof of the executive as an interim government or Mr. Yunus will be this. They don't try to, cannot prove that there are any step for this building. Because in afternoon, they declared bulldozer force. They go to Dhanmondi 32 number house, and after 9 p.m. they demolished the historical this house. It is very unfortunately at the is a Mr. Yunus government. Just his steps is a fascist, and we are even among the bulldozer force. They hope if they successfully politically in Bangladesh will become a core. I hope they will not. They will fail Mr. Yunus and his.
Rahman, yes, for the paucity of time, we'll have to leave the conversation there. But important that you mentioned how the situation has only been escalating. This also comes amid sources, amid reports that are doing the rounds that Yunus is also fearing a coup like the one that was faced by Sheikh Hasina. For now, we switch to the other news that we are tracking. This is from Andhra Pradesh, a day after TDT removed 18 non-Hindu staff. It's the AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi who's now challenged the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu over the decision that's been taken by the TDT to act against its non-Hindu employees. Owaisi has questioned why Naidu's Telugu Desam party supported the BJP's Waqf Amendment Bill in the parliament. Let's go across to. We have Jyotsna Tirunagri. Beg your pardon. We have Jyotsna Tirunagri. She's associated with the TDP party in Andhra Pradesh. Jyotsna, appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. if you can respond to that sharp question that's been put out by the AIMIM chief as to the rationale behind this decision, because clearly the AIMIM chief says that there is a double standard when it comes to the stand that the TDP has taken on the Waqf bill and that on the decision taken by the TDP board.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you, Ms. Jyotsna. Please.
Yes. Yeah. I know. I think Mr. Owaisi should understand that Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam.
Yes, we can hear you, Ms. Jyotsna. Please, if you can speak. All right, we seem to have lost that connection, but yes, the AIMIM chief has put a sharp question, questioning the Andhra Pradesh government as to the rationale behind supporting the TDT decision while making its stand clear on the Waqf amendment bill. We'll try and go across to the TDP spokesperson again, but this comes as the TDT in its latest diktat has said that no Hindu staffer would be allowed to be a part of its board. Now, Milkipur bypolls have concluded amidst heated allegations and sharp exchange between the Samajwadi Party and the BJP. It's Akhilesh Yadav, the Samajwadi Party Supremo's recent remarks that have now triggered a fresh controversy targeting the Election Commission. The question being raised is to whether the Samajwadi Party is already preempting its loss with the election results, the bypoll results, to be out on February 8th.
As Milkipur bypolls conclude, the India Alliance is back on its democracy-disrupting tirade. The SP is now maligning the role of the Election Commission, calling it dead. Crying foul in the recently concluded bypolls, SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav has levelled some scathing attacks.
बगल में ही बिल्डिंग है चुनाव आयोग की, मैं वो लाना भूल गया सफेद कपड़ा डाल देना चाहिए उस पर, क्योंकि चुनाव आयोग मर चुका है। मैंने सुबह से और समाजवादी पार्टी ने सुबह से लेकर के शाम तक जब तक चुनाव खत्म हुआ है 500 कंप्लेंट्स किए, 500 कंप्लेंट।
The Samajwadi Party is alleging that the BJP and EC officials in the constituency were engaging in voter intimidation and disruption of the polling process.
मेरे पास कम से कम नहीं तो हजारों में बूथों से फोन आया कि यहाँ गड़बड़ी हो रही है, बूथ लूटे जा रहे हैं। मैंने पहुंचने पे देखा कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी का वो कार्यकर्ता बूथ के अंदर फर्जी वोट डलवा रहा था। तब मैंने उससे कहा कि तुम बाहर जाओ, और वहाँ पे जनता भी खड़ी थी, उसने भी शिकायत करी। पूरी वीडियो आप देखिएगा, आपको जानकारी मिल जाएगी कि किस तरह फर्जी वोट भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पक्ष में डलवा रहे थे।
BJP has now gone all guns blazing at the Samajwadi Party's accusations against the sanctity of Election Commission.
चुनाव आयोग एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण संवैधानिक संस्था है, एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडी है। ये कहना कि चुनाव आयोग के कमिश्नर इत्यादि मर गए हैं और चुनाव आयोग मर गया है और उसके लिए कफन प्रस्तुत करना, सफेद कपड़ा पार्लियामेंट में देना, इससे जघन्य कांड कुछ नहीं हो सकता है। दिस इज ऑलमोस्ट लाइक अ टॉर्चर ऑन डेमोक्रेसी। ये डेमोक्रेसी के हत्या के बराबर है।
ये वही चुनाव आयोग है जो लोकसभा में इनको तीसरे नंबर की बड़ी पार्टी सदन में बनाता है तो उस वक्त इनको कोई शिकायत नहीं होती। ये दोहरे मापदंड जब ये अपनाते हैं ये गलत है, इसी सोच का मैं विरोधी हूँ। जब ये जीतते हैं तब इलेक्शन कमीशन भी ठीक, चुनाव आयोग भी ठीक, कोई फर्जी वोटर नहीं बने। बट जब ये हारने लगता है, और मैं इनका दर्द समझ सकता हूँ, मिल्कीपुर वाली सीट ये हार रहे हैं जो इनके लिए प्रतिष्ठा का सवाल बनी हुई थी। ये दर्द वहां से आ रहा है कि वो सीट ये हार रहे हैं तो अभी से ही कैसे उसके लिए बहाना तैयार कर लें।
Acting on the allegations from the Samajwadi Party, the Ayodhya police also issued a clarification, stating that it was the booth officers whose IDs were being checked and not the voters. Lying vacant after Avdesh Prasad's victory in the 2024 Lok Sabha, the SP aims to maintain its position, whilst the BJP seeks to gain control of this seat. After their sole loss in Ayodhya during the 2022 Uttar Pradesh Assembly elections.
Let's now switch focus to news that we've been tracking from West Bengal. This is a chilling incident that unfolded in the posh New Town area of Kolkata, where a government employee was seen flashing a knife in full public glare after going on a stabbing spree at his office that led to 4 colleagues sustaining injuries. Visuals that captured the accused who's been identified as Amit Sarkar was seen walking down the street outside the office with his blood-soaked knife and even threatening a police officer on camera. We will go across to Priyanka Tibrewal as well, a Bengal BJP leader, but the visuals on your screens of the man who went on a stabbing spree. Ms. Tibrewal, appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. The very fact that this incident happened very close to a summit that was taking place, that was attended by top industrialists, this once again points to questions as to how is the Mamata government failing to curtail the law and order situation in Kolkata.
See, this is all a fake facade. Whatever summit and everything happens every year, we have seen that there is no development at all which takes place in West Bengal. But this kind of violence, which is completely unmatched, can you just imagine what is the situation of law and order here in West Bengal? Where are we standing? See, we completely believe that there is a lot of discontentment. There are disgruntled people. There are government employees who are having a lot of complaints with this government. We have seen most of them protesting on the streets. But this kind of thing, this kind of violence which has happened, you can very well imagine that how government employees are taken to work. No wonder that recruitment scam is going on in West Bengal, because when they are supposed to see the background, when they are supposed to find out as to whether they hold certain kind of criminal psychology or not, nothing is checked. It is only on the basis of cut money that jobs and government jobs are given. That is the reason that the matter is being heard in the Supreme Court for recruitment. But this is not just the first incident. I'll also remind you that the government employee who is a convict in the RG Kar rape case also happens to be a government employee. He was working with the police department. Again, the question comes, what is the government doing? What kind of people the government is giving employment to? Those who are again feeding this government, giving them money, bribe, they are getting jobs. So this is what will happen in an open daylight. Does a person who's staying in West Bengal have any security of his life? No, because this kind of mayhem, barbarism, all this kind of gundagiri, this has become the culture in West Bengal now.
Yes, Ms. Tibrewal, rightly put by you, and the very fact that there's been no statement from the police also speaks 1,000 words. We'll have to leave the conversation at that. We will head into a very short break, but when we come back, we will get you excerpts from Prime Minister's thunderous reply in the Rajya Sabha on the motion of thanks after this very short break.